Okay, this is a public service announcement for Children's Divinity Sovereignty Manual, Orientation Manual. I went over it briefly yesterday at the end of a live, and from dream time to waking, I'm reminded that I need to do it again, but more specifically just to this topic. This is for all parents, all adults who feel like they are mothering all children, who can find in their hearts to be a mother to all children, a father to all children. And to your own inner child, you can do this work with your inner child. Okay, so I have a few things I need to talk about. What's in the orientation manual? It's a divinity manual. So the first thing on the list is permission. Teach your child, your inner child first. All this work starts with your own inner child. So sitting in meditation, sitting in your room, sitting outside, and doing the work first within yourself. Because if you're embodying it, then it's going to be really easy for you to deliver it to your child or to your children, or to children that you know, or just to be the presence that's exuding this energy from your porthole, from your projector, from your reality. So the first thing is practicing permission and teaching sacred boundaries. A beautiful thing to teach your inner child and all children is that this vessel, this beautiful temple, this technology of our form does not just end where my skin ends. It goes all the way out 5 feet. My soul is 5 feet big. And beyond that, as I embody the source that I am and bigger packets of consciousness, I am throughout the plane of existence. So teach them that they are sacred space, and that what they believe and what their parents believe sets up the stage of how things are going to be in that sacred space. So if we believe we're in harm's way, then we're going to create harm for our children. So teaching them about teaching your inner child first about clearing those belief systems that you are in harm's way, and finding your hand in the harm's way, finding out where you began and your conception points where you started to create that there was something to be weary about or to distrust. Find out where you were the predator and heal that. So the simplest thing for your inner child and your children outside of you to learn about is the Ho'oponopono prayer. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And the psychology of that frees us up in all directions to allow us to forgive ourselves, to allow us to have a new fresh start, a new choice point. And so if we can teach our inner child and the children around us that they are sacred space, what they believe creates the sacred space. So when you speak to them like, choose wisely today, honey, as you go out there. See everybody for their divinity. See everybody's God self. See everybody's higher self. Honey, make sure you know that you're going to communicate with all beings' higher selves from this point forward. Start communicating new truth. And take back the times that you maybe were worried about them because of your own wounds of childhood that you didn't heal. Find those places inside yourself. Find the conception point. Find the place where you had the predator come after you and heal that. The best way I can suggest that you can heal that as well is to look at the person who did something harmful to you and look at their childhood, and then look at those childhood and follow it back through a chain of events, through your imagination and mind's eye and inner intuition, and find out how this has been going on a long time so that you truly can forgive them and see that they were just, living out a deep groove in the psyche that kept them repeating it until they could heal it. Or maybe you were the one who was actually going to heal it for the collective connected to you. You also have to look at Hollywood. You have to look at what's coming out right now in our world, that most of the time slavery has been the agenda and control and manipulation has been the agenda. And find your hand in that. Find where you in another timeline created those control and manipulation tactics, and forgive yourself. Do the Ho'oponopono to that. Find the small thing in your early childhood And then find the big thing that's going on in the collective. Find your hand in that and heal that. And see it in a new way. Because what you see and what you project and what you believe and what you speak now will be. We are the new world creators. So if we're just going to keep going around the merry-go-round and being angry, and then we're going to create another timeline of it still going on. But if we can heal it, and then we can project a new reality of, you know what, I'm going to govern this world, and I'm going to govern myself, and I'm going to govern my children, and I'm going to govern what they watch, because that programmer is a programmer for a reason. TVs and internet, close the doors down where they have access to anything that would not be of their highest good. Close the doors down where they have access to other people on games. There's no need for that. There's plenty of games right in front of them. And if you're going to have a game on there, let it be educational. Let it be something that's going to help to heal technology, the right use of technology to make something greater, to create. So, you know, these Hollywood movies, shut them down. There's a lot of hidden agenda. Again, heal yourself, forgive yourself for creating it all. But there's a lot of agenda in these movies that if you're not keen and aware of what you're programming yourself and your child deeper into, then we're just going to keep going around this merry-go-round. Close them down. If you're going to watch a TV show at night, pick something educational. There's great permaculture videos that you could watch so that you can literally program yourself with good material so that when you go out in the day, you're actually going to repeat the program that you put into the projector. Okay? What we see, we then keep creating. Unless we dissolve it, we do have instant commands. We could say, in our house, it's Control-Alt-Delete. If we saw something that we didn't really want to see, Control-Alt-Delete, delete all that, dissolve all that, and close down that door. Let's close that door. Let's not go there anymore. And let's heal it for the collective. Let's close it down for the collective and make them wise and awake. Okay? So that's the first thing. And practice permission. Let them know that they have divine right, that there's many projectors of realities out there, and that, Susie, you know, we're working on upgrading our reality, but we're projecting. But, you know, there's 9 billion people on the planet, and there's a lot of projectors out there. So you have to be keen and wise and hold compassion and hold space that your neighbor might not, you know, have had cleaned up their projector. So they might have some real wonky stuff going on, and you're not going to judge them, Susie, but you're going to hold space and hold compassion for them. So teach them to be wise, that there's many things going on at once, and they can trust their gut. Teach them about their intuition. Teach them muscle testing, talking to their consciousness. My consciousness. Is it for the highest and best I go with this person? No. And to trust that and to talk to you about it. Teach them about the permission. Even, you know, I went to go rub my daughter's arm last night. I said, can I rub your arm? Yes, Mommy, of course. Honey, do you know you can have people ask permission to ever touch you? Oh yeah, Mommy, I know, but you always can touch me. I said, yeah, but I'm still going to ask permission. Show them what permission looks like. And on the inner planes, you have the ability to go into anyone's world. So all you healers out there and facilitators, ask permission. Ask permission to work with people at a distance. I always do. And if someone doesn't show up, and they don't show up in the future, or their higher self doesn't show up, then it's not time for me to work with them. And I trust that. At the right time, right place, they will show up. So ask permission to do any engaging with people. Clean up your dream time. If you find you wake up and you had some really weird dream where you were like being inappropriate with permission, clean it up. All you have to do, you have a new choice point right when you wake up. You can close your eyes and redo that dream and clear and fold in everything else that happened. We are instant creators. And when we don't understand that we are instant creators, we leave these projections literally circulating out through time and space until we decide to clean them up. And if we don't ever decide to clean them up, they just keep revolving and we keep jumping on that merry-go-round. Next time it's that cycle, you know, we're utilizing, if you haven't folded in certain belief system with astrology, then you're still utilizing the astrology wheel. So, you know, next year at August, whatever, 18th, the same consciousness will come up that you projected last August 18th. Okay? That's the way this thing works. Start to investigate and study what I'm sharing with you. If it doesn't make sense and it's going over your head, come to Now it's Unity Marker. Come take a class. Have a private session with me. I'm not allowed to do for you anymore. I'm only allowed to train you. So have a private session. I'll train you right then and there, one-on-one. Watch these videos. I'm guided to get on here every day. Now I really understand the power that we have by getting on here. Okay? So practice permission with your kids. Practice having others ask permission, you know. Just share permission. It's sacred spacing. When this first thing broke out with the pandemic and we had to be 6 feet apart, you know, I'm still working on upgrading all of this in my projector and for the collective that I have an assistant ability to assist. But, you know, as far as sacred spacing goes, it helps you understand that honor someone's space. They're big, these beings. We're all big beings. So ask permission to come into this space. Okay? The next thing is teach neutrality. And I kind of already spoke to this, but teach your children about neutrality. Teach them that everybody's point of view is true. So there's no need to argue about truth anymore. Whatever somebody thinks, even if it's a total facade or lie or whatever it is, it becomes true because they said it. Then it literally creates a reality of truth, as well as it's true to them. So respect and honor truth. Show your kids how to just respect that everybody has a different point of view and a different truth. And then as you up-level this lifetime and you master here, you're going to let go of all point of views so that you can be free. Because point of views are bindings and they are contracts until you fold them in. They can literally be debilitating. You can find yourself not being able to do anything because of all the beliefs you took on, all the definitions you took on. So to teach them about neutrality and how to be neutral, how to hold space while their friends are having different opinions, and just to listen. Okay? Teach them what sovereignty means. Sovereignty means that everything that's outside of you is within you. Teach them that whatever they're seeking outside of themselves truly can be found within themselves. Teach them that when they're reaching outside of themselves for something, that usually there's something they're trying to, you know, comfort or stuff or deal with, and they just don't know how to deal with it. So have, you know, if you're noticing they're going for, you know, whatever they're going for outside of themselves over and over again, say, hey, let's sit down and think about this. What do you really want? What are you really needing? You could say truth. When you say truth before anything, it signals the consciousness to really bring up from the subconscious what they need to say. Truth, honey, what do you really need? You know, why do you keep going for those chips? What is it you really need? Are you upset about something? Did something happen you're worried about? And then let them talk about it. Show them with yourself first. Truth. What do I really want? You know, I keep wanting to go have more carbs or, you know, it's usually around food because food is a comfort of the psychology, of the subconscious. Every food has a subconscious behind it. Okay? Or if it's like they're going to their internet or whatever they're going to seek, what are they really needing inside themselves? Maybe they need a nature walk. Maybe they need to do some deep breathing with you. Maybe they need to do some exercising with you. Something that can get some internal movement of that internal need. Okay, so teach them about sovereignty and what that means to you. And if it doesn't make sense to you yet, again, this is why the inner child work of yourself will help first before you deliver it to your children. Because once you've experienced what I'm telling you, then you can easily give your own examples. And when anybody, child or not, hears your examples first, they are more apt to listen to you. They trust you more because they can feel that you truly are embodying what you're talking about. Next is tell them they have choices. I think I already went over that. Tell them that, you know, everything's forgivable. I'm going to read these in a second. Everybody is learning here in Earth School. Everybody's learning in this incarnation. And if they didn't like what they did or they didn't like what someone else did, can they find that if someone else did something to me, where am I still doing that? Or where did I do that one time in my life that's causing it to be something in my projection and reflection? It's reflecting back to me from somebody else. And if you can't find, you adults who can't find where you did it this lifetime, look for other lifetimes where you did these things. And why is this happening to you now? And remind them that if they made a mistake, you know, great, okay, you made a mistake. What'd you learn? How would you do it differently? Okay, let's close our eyes. Imagine you doing that differently and a ho'opono ourselves. I forgive myself. I love myself. I know I can do this again better. And then open their eyes and say, you know what? You just created a whole new blueprint. Now you can go walk that life. You can go walk that new choice. And if you mess up again, that's okay. Talk to me about it. We're going to figure out why you're tripping on yourself. What's tripping in your psyche? And usually tripping means that there's a leak in the aura or a leak in the chakra. So talk to them about the door closing of each chakras. Upgrade all chakras to star points of neutrality and of working with others in neutrality and working with others' higher selves only. Command that we're having a new neutral system, a light body system, that by doing the exercise with them that says, you know what, Susie, now this intends for you to have higher self connections with other people. And you can say truth to your friend, truth, I want to speak to your higher self. And remind them that they don't have to even say that out loud. They can say it inside themselves while they're standing in front of their friend who they feel like is, not telling a truth or something. And inside themselves, they could say, truth, I want to speak to my friend Susie's higher self. And then what happens is that gives an opportunity for their friend to show up differently. Let me read some of these before I go on. Hi guys, Bridget, Sheila, Amy, Nancy. Okay, yes, we are creators. Create the change that you wish to see. Yes. Sheila, I've only had a rare few body workers, yes, even holistic ones, ask my body for permission before touching me, inserting colon hydrotherapy, acupuncture needed, etc. Excellent point. Yes. We're all learning here. Yes, neutrality, and while I teach mirror ball and kaleidoscope lessons. Yeah, tell us more about that. And Amy, I'll try to get this. Amy, sticky, my fingers. Probably best we show, not tell. Also, almost all adults seek everything outside themselves, especially food. I coach people with this, and every client I have does not consciously acknowledge 90% of their eating is addictive, and they model this to their children. Yeah, for new blueprints. Ugh, points of view so habitual for us. Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, just a few more things. Take back any of your, anywhere you have placed the mistrust on your children. We had a great leader at the retreat this weekend who brought this point up, and she just reminded us that if you kept telling your daughter, be careful out there, can't trust boys, because you couldn't trust boys, do that work on yourself first. Find out why within you, what happened with that boy, and why did that boy do that thing to you? Follow the trail, go back through just visualize, ask his consciousness to show you why he did those things to you. And you'll go deep, 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 deep. Then you can do the Ho'oponopono and forgive yourself and that boy from your early childhood when you were 7. And then let your child know, I'm so sorry, honey. I placed this judgment and this point of view and this imprint, this energy, this overlay over top of you, thinking that you aren't safe, when you know what? You are safe. You are perfection. And I'm teaching you the Divinity Orientation Manual. So you have all the tools you need. And I'm going to take that back from you right now. I'm going to dissolve it and do some breath work with them and just, dissolve. And say, you know what? We're making a new pact now. I trust you. You're wise. You go out there and enjoy life. And let's upgrade from this point forward into the androgyny codes, light body codes, that all beings are light bodies. All beings are higher self-consciousness. All beings are souls that are pure love. And the layers that are on them, we're not talking to those layers anymore. We're upgrading this. We are now going to interact soul to soul with everybody you meet. And command to be with the soul when you go on that date. Command that that's who you want to be with. That's who you want to have a reflection with and work with. And I trust you on that date. Have a great time. Okay? So remove those overlays from your children. Okay. And then I think there's just one more thing. Okay? Sheila, I think you have something before that. Okay, use a mirror ball, an analogy to all points of view, included in the whole. and work every day with a kaleidoscope to understand how all work together to make a beautiful design. And with every turn, always different, always beautiful, broken pieces transformed to beauty. That's awesome. I'd love for you to do a live on that. Okay. The last thing I wanted to show you was, so at Unity Marker, our logo, we realized through Source Consciousness and beyond that it's a technology. And so on our website, you can look at what it actually does. But one of the exercises that you can do with these cards is get 5 of them. And you're going to place each card in each room, as well as you can do it around the whole house. I'm going to draw a picture of a room. And this source code, this technology that exudes biophotons, you're going to place each 4 cards in the corner of each room. Don't place them on different levels though. Place them on the ground floor and intend for, as you place it on the ground floor, that it exudes through all dimensions, okay? And try to be as even as you can, meaning if you have a piece of furniture right here, don't put it behind the furniture, but just try to go, you know, from here across your room, directly across. Make it as best of a geometry as you can of a square or a rectangle. If you live in a dome, you may pick up some more cards and do a different geometry, but here is the 4 corners, okay? Then you're going to take your 5th card and place it right in the middle of the room. You're going to sit in the room and you're going to tap the card 3 times. And when you tap the card 3 times, I want you to imagine that a beautiful octahedron, a pyramid into the ground, goes below you, and a pyramid above you erects. So that all of a sudden, I'll draw what it looks like if you're looking to the side of the room. So all of a sudden, you've got, if this is the floor, there's a pyramid underneath the ground where the 4 corners are, or where the 4 cards are, and above there's a pyramid. So it creates an octahedron. The octahedron is the geometry that exudes from the ascended heart. When the heart has stabilized and you truly understand neutrality and sovereignty, you up level and your geometry of your heart stabilizes to an octahedron. This is also the exercise with closing doors, making them all star points, okay? So all of a sudden you're gonna have an octahedron in the room, above and below, okay? And this divinity code, by tapping the card 3 times, you're asking for a divinity octahedron to be within that space. And then, like I said, go around your whole building and do, if you're living in an apartment, just be creative. But go around the property and do a big one. And you're gonna, as you tap it 3 times, I want you to say, my consciousness, I command that within this room, my divinity is built out, and that only my divinity is nurtured here. And that the plasma that I am creating within myself from my heart, and that I am, and that I'm calling back to me, helps to build out my divinity. And so that I truly do walk in sovereignty. And so I truly do walk in neutrality. And so I truly do evolve and think of activities and just live in this divine nature. Okay. And then if you have people that are going to coming into your room, so, you know, my daughter sleeps with me. And so I, made sure I included her name, that her divinity is in that room as well. And that anyone else that comes in here, that I ask that their higher self give permission for their divinity to be experienced when they come in here. And then we did it for each room. Aaliyah did her own room. Daniel did his own room. And then we did the whole house. So I'll have to share with you, right after Aaliyah did her own room, she it was the middle of the night, later in the night, 8. This was last week. She was ran to my car, grabbed her yoga mat. She said, "Mom, we're going to start exercising. We're going to start doing yoga. And I'm going to go get your yoga mat, okay?" And so you can actually see she's been doing it. Here's your yoga mat. But she started exercising us, being my personal trainer. I'm really sore. So it turned on a divinity code for her. It turned on something new for her to realize, oh my gosh. Whereas prior to that exercise, she would have been like, "You go get my yoga mat. I don't want to do exercises." So the proof is in the pudding. If you don't have these cards, you could use crystals. You can use your own intention. You could cut a shape and do it in the four corners. It doesn't require these cards. These cards are just a gift, part of the art, what's being, created through us at Unity Marker. But yeah, powerful exercise, and it gives them a field of energy to be in divinity. And then lastly, what I'll end on is that teach them, after you do that or before you do that, maybe together, tandem, teach them to tap their heart 3 times and to command to be in this octahedron of divinity and have that octahedron expand around them. So like if this is you or your child, to tap their heart 3 times and then to see a big octahedron around them. And to command that when they go anywhere now, that they are in a divinity, that they are in a field of divinity, and that all others who interact with them interact with their divinity, and that they see the divinity in others. And that's today's lesson. Share this public service announcement to all parents that you feel could benefit from these tips. I know I wish I would have had this type of orientation at my arrival here. And I'm learning, and I forgive myself for not giving all these tips to my daughter right away, but they're coming as we need them. And, do the work, take the time to close down the doors inside yourself, inside your children, have them practice it with you. Close down the doors, in your house, like command that all doors and windows are upgraded, anything that they were holding imprint-wise, because truly your house is also a technology that we can go in on another session about. Talk to your partner about this. I talked to mine at length this past couple days, just about, any way he can close down his doors, like going in, how important it is that he's closed down things that he's witnessed on internet and things like that, that wouldn't be beneficial for our daughter to go ahead and have in her psyche, as well as to choose wisely what he, how he presents himself, because of what's going on in the collective, even though his heart's in the right place, if he doesn't present himself in a way of, stellar divinity, then, it just creates a big gaping hole in the psyche. And, my child and her friends, could be susceptible to, again, it's like having a wide open, not for the highest good code coming into the house because of things he's saying or doing or what he's even wearing. So we're doing this all together. We've got some big things coming up to deal with, but we've got our divinity. We have our ability to tune in and to correct things in meditation and in dream time. Command for your dreams to correct anything you need to. Command for your dreams to close down any doors that would have you entangled with other people's lower selves. Command to only interact in dream time with the people's higher selves that truly does benefit your divinity, and see how your dreams change. And if you need answers, use that dream to go ahead and be your superconscious that gets to show you what's up in the subconscious, so that you can clean it up as soon as you wake up, or tell yourself before you go to bed, we're going to clean this up in dream time. We're going to totally be lucid and change the script right there once we see what was going on in our psyche. We're powerful. And we are the leaders. So step up inside yourself and lead by example. I love you. Have a great day.